work as a multidisciplinary team. So that means that we have clinicians that are speech and language therapists, we'd have an occupational therapist, we have psychology, we have childcare and social care workers, we have nursing, we have social work, and we also have a psychiatry and of course our administration staff as well.
The psychiatrist is a medically trained doctor, so every psychiatrist would have their primary degree would be in medicine, and then following that they would have gone into specialist training in psychiatry. I suppose the focus in psychiatry really is looking at the assessment, understanding and treatment of mental health disorders.
After they've finished qualifying as a doctor, they train and specialise, and they do general training in psychiatry across kind of all of the age range, and then specialise to become a consultant in child and adolescent psychiatry with specialist training in the area of working with children and adolescents.
In terms of psychology, we start off with a psychology degree and then a master's, and then we go on to clinical training. So we would see more of the different type of influences, I suppose, that could potentially impact on someone's mental health. So we look at the person's own internal thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, how they interact with others, relationships, the influence of the environment. So we would see that complementary to our psychiatry colleagues. We don't have a role in terms of medication, and we wouldn't have a role in terms of referral for perhaps inpatient care.
A speech and language therapist has many roles on the team, but ultimately what we do in CAMHS is really look at a young person's communication. Often young people present in CAMHS with lots of different difficulties or challenges, whether they've got low mood or they're struggling in school, struggling with relationships with friends, with family members. And sometimes behind the difficulty can be hidden problems with their language skills and their communication skills. So this can have a massive impact on how they get on with their friends, form relationships. So it can impact on their social skills as well. So I suppose as speech and language therapists in CAMHS, we're really like an investigator trying to discover the root cause of the mental health difficulty or the challenges that the young person is facing.
Occupational therapy, the main goal is really to support young people and children to take part in everyday activities that matter to them. We call those everyday activities occupations in occupational therapy. So occupations are things that young people need to do, want to do, and are expected to do. So for example, a young person might need to brush their teeth in the morning, they might want to hang out with their friends, and they might be expected to go to school.
And also as OTs, we very much believe that there's a really strong link about being occupied and being busy with health and well-being. So with mental health difficulties, we know very often people have difficulties doing day-to-day activities. So if that's the case, then very often a referral to OT might be needed.
We have a role in providing the assessment for a young person and their family coming in around their mental health concerns. We have core training in, working therapeutically, so having really good therapeutic kind of conversations and helping a young person, I guess, really feel heard and helping them maybe open up about how they're feeling, things that are bothering them, anything like that.
The social worker will always be the person on the team that's looking at a broader perspective. So it's looking at how is the young person's relationships with other people, how is their relationship with their family, how are they getting on in school, and how are they getting on in their community. So social work kind of takes a zoomed out view. The social worker normally won't be as focused on things like medications or diagnosis. And when social workers talk about diagnosis, they're often talking about how does that label make sense to you, and how would that label help, or does it help you have a better understanding of the difficulties you're experiencing?
I
I suppose a big part of what we do is getting to know the young people and their relationships. So that would be the relationship with themselves, so how they maybe think about themselves, how they feel about themselves, and then looking at the relationships outside of themselves. So maybe with their family, their peers, their school. So a lot of what we would be doing would be looking at kind of their social kind of life, their social development, their emotional development. So really getting to know the young person and the system that they live in and the relationships that they have would be a big part of what a social care worker or leader would do.
The nurses work in a really recovery orientated way. So what's existing, what's going right for them, and really look at the positives and try and build on them, and then try to add new skills. And then there might be individual work that they might do. So different nurses have therapy skills.
The nurse's role really is about creating a therapeutic relationship with the young person. A big part of your role would be working with the young person and identifying goals and needs and looking at possible interventions. So you'd also be involved in advocating for the family and the young person amongst other members of the team as well. And you'd also be involved in caring for their physical needs, so doing things like their blood pressure, dispensing medication, speaking to them about their medication, observing for side effects, and general kind of education on illness and interventions.